rotten, terrible weather. It was good. Patriots escaped Houston with a 25-22 win. It was probably closer than it should have been. Nick, how should the Pats fans feel after this win?
Terrible. Broussard, the only thing this win did was hurt their draft position. The Patriots are a really bad team. I'll give you the list of things the Patriots do well. They employ Matthew Judon, who's outstanding. That's the list. Davis Mills carved them up all game. I know Pats fans were watching the very end after they got a gift roughing the passer penalty. Ended up only being the second worst roughing the passer penalty of the day, but I'm not bitter about the Chiefs one. The Chiefs didn't play well enough to win. That was an egregious roughing the passer penalty, but we'll move on. We'll move forward. They got a gift of a roughing the passer penalty. And David Culley, who I think deserves some credit for having the Texans ready to fight, made some really questionable special teams decisions late, including kicking nearly a 60-yard field goal for no reason. But Broussard, I have seen nothing from New England that tells me they can beat good teams. And I know folks will be like, well, they almost beat the Bucs. That was such a unique circumstance in bad weather with all the emotions of the game for Brady. The Bucs didn't look like the Bucs that game. The Patriots have beaten Zach Wilson and the Jets, and there's the Jets, and they escaped against the Texans. That was a terrible victory. All it did was mean instead of having the 6th pick of the draft, they're going to have the 9th pick of the draft. They're a bad football team.
Nick, there is no such thing in the NFL. I'm sure Mike will back me up on this as a terrible victory. All right, it was a good win.
No, it's terrible.
And they are playing for a playoff. I picked them to make the playoffs. I picked them to make the playoffs.
Take it back.
I knew that would make him mad.
I'm not as confident in that as I was a month ago, but they're still in the hunt, all right? And a victory's a victory.
No, they're not.
How can you not give... Let's give Mac Jones a little credit. Let's give Mac Jones a little credit. All right, he leads 2 scoring drives in the 4th quarter. He hits Hunter Henry on a nice pass for his first touchdown of the game to tie the game up, and then leads a 7-minute drive that ends with the field. I think it was 17 plays. He goes 3 for 5, 37 yards. The roughing the passer helped, but they had 2 offensive penalties too that kind of evened it out. And they still got folk in position for the game-winning field goal attempt. So I like what I saw from Mac Jones. I like the poise. I like the savvy. Yeah, they don't look as good as I thought they would, but they're still very much alive. I'd say more alive than your Atlanta Falcons.
Drop a truth bomb here, Mike.
Hey, Nick.
Mike, come on.
Nick,
come on.
Ugly win better than a pretty loss, and I've been a part of both.
There you go.
I remember an ugly win that we had. We won 6-3 one time in like 2005. I think we beat the Arizona Cardinals. We only kicked 2 field goals. I did absolutely nothing, but somehow we found a way to get out of the stadium with a win, and it felt good. And I know yesterday for the New England Patriots, it felt good to just get out of the stadium with a win, regardless of how it looked. It can always get better. Go back and look at the tape, reevaluate, and come back strong next week.
Okay, that's fine that you guys are making the point that getting the win was important so they don't drop to 1-4. And I understand that to a degree. But if we are looking at how the Patriots have played through 5 weeks and evaluating what they will be the rest of the season, win or lose yesterday, what they're going to be the rest of the season is bad. They don't have a single offensive player that scares you. They have 1 outstanding defensive. Judon's great. I give Judon, that's a great free agent signing, good for them. But that is a bad team. They were damn near 10-point favorites, and they're down 22-9 to Davis Mills, who just carved them up. Again, this is Davis Mills, Jenna, carved them up. Stephon Gilmore's not walking through that door. He plays for Carolina now. It's bad news for the Patriots. Win or loss, that's bad news for them, Jenna.
I hate that.
Back here talking Kansas City Chiefs after they dropped the Sunday night showdown to the Buffalo Bills. So just to recap, the Bills beat the Chiefs Sunday night. Buffalo did a good job of keeping Patrick Mahomes off balance. Ended up losing a fumble, throwing 2 picks. Mahomes did, one of which got returned for a touchdown. The old rare pick 6 for Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City falls to 2-3 on the season. So where do they go from here? Take a listen.
They kind of have to just take it on the chin. I mean, you got to get better. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what we got to do. Still got a long season left, but it's definitely this is one you're going to remember. And so that's a good football team, don't get me wrong, but we don't lose football games like that, especially at home.
As it is your guys' job, I think this is going to be made a bigger deal than what it is. You know, we are in week 5. Last time I checked, 4 wins doesn't get you into the playoffs. We came into a hostile environment, played a really good team, ended up with a win, and that's our goal each and every week. And to come out here and to be resilient through the lightning delays and a couple plays here or there. But, again, I'm proud of our team for how we handled the situation. Coming in, like I said, away games are never easy, no matter who you're playing. And each week it's a different situation, different matchup. So you gotta go out there and execute a game plan. That's what we did today, and that's what we're going to have to continue to do.
Chris Broussard, did you see how he just exuded confidence up there at the dais? How he was like, this is my team, this is my conference, this is my league now. Have the Bills surpassed the Chiefs as the best team in the AFC?
It sounds like a trick question. I mean, they just bludgeoned the Chiefs. They didn't beat them. They didn't edge them. They stomped the Chiefs 38-20. And yes, they have absolutely passed the Chiefs in the AFC. Now, that doesn't mean that'll be the case in late December and January. But right now, and I'm not just basing this on the record, they are better than the Chiefs as we speak right now. And the Chargers are better right now. Some would argue Baltimore and Cleveland. I wouldn't go there. But I think the 2 teams that are better than Kansas City right now in the AFC are the Chargers and Buffalo. And I think Buffalo is number 1 right now, Nick. Here's the thing. Their defense, we know they're great against the run. They're giving up the fewest points in the league by like 3. And the other teams, Nick, the other 4 teams that are allowing fewer than 20 points a game, they don't have the offense that Buffalo has. And that's the thing. Buffalo's defense is light years ahead of Kansas City. Their run game is right now better than Kansas City's. And obviously, Clyde Edwards-Helaire got hurt last night. We'll see how serious that is. But they got a better run game, not just because of the backs, Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, but Josh Allen. He runs it as well as any quarterback in the league not named Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray. I mean, he's huge. He's got speed. And you could see some of those defensive backs from Kansas City were glad that he slid a few times last night. Because when he gets a full head of steam, I don't think some of those little defensive backs want to tackle him. So he is a threat running the football as well. And, Nick, we know how bad Kansas City's defense is. But they can get away with that against a lot of teams. But there are several teams, not just the Chargers and the Bills, but the Rams, the Buccaneers. There's several teams who offensively might not be quite as good as Kansas City, might not. But they're on that same level. And then their defenses are better than Kansas City's by a wide margin at this point. Yeah. And so that's the problem for the Chiefs. If a team can hang with them offensively, they're going to win because their defense is going to be much better.
Well, then it becomes, who has the ball last. And the Chiefs should not be in a position where every game's a coin flip about who has the ball last because neither team can stop the other team. Right. Last night, they would have loved to be in that position. They would, and nobody wants me to sit here and defend the Chiefs this morning. And right now, the Chiefs are not a defensible team. They are literally play no defense, and then, kind of practically, it's hard to defend what they've put on film through 5 weeks. They are a turnover machine offensively. They create no turnovers defensively, and I would have felt better. I understand Bills fans this morning, and they should. I talked a lot of trash, and I was wrong about all of it. So they're enjoying themselves today, and good for them. That's fine. You deserve it. That's why sports are awesome. I would have personally felt better if I thought Josh Allen was just dicing the Chiefs up, like, oh my God, look at the throw he fit into that tight window. Instead, it was a lot of Daniel Sorensen running to the sideline for a chat mid-play. It was how many times do I got to watch Tyrann Mathieu be like this, 40 yards out of the play saying, whose man is that? So the fact that the Bills did everything that they did without Josh Allen playing I know his numbers were unbelievable. If you watch the game, though, it was a lot of throw. This throw particularly was really good. But the other deep throws were guys wide open. Absolutely. That throw, listen, Josh Allen, it's not like he played poorly last time. My point